Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. This is a review of Tales from the Loop, the board game, and it originally appeared in issue 65 of Tabletop Gaming. The review was written by Christopher John Eggett, and this is a game by Free League, who also sponsored the promotion of this video. But without further ado, here's the review. Adapting a board game from an RPG without wildly veering into the territory of just slapping on a theme is tricky. RPGs are good for their complete freedom. Board games thrive on their mechanical parts interlocking. Here we spend our time as kids of the 80s in Sweden attempting to investigate what's going on at various locations. We have an action point system for moving and taking actions, and each character has their own specific strengths and weaknesses. Players move point to point on the map and can use the bus route or the help of a parent to get to any of the safe areas of the island. The orange, more dangerous areas are where the cool stuff happens. These cost the most movement to get to, but that's opened up a lot by the robots which wander the land. While the children are on a location-based web, the robots are on a grid, meaning they can move in different ways. Helpful if you're catching a ride after hacking one of them. Everything else is scenario-specific cards or general quests like chores. Locations get powered up by placing a satisfyingly well-lined-up tile on top, giving players more options. Initially, you'll feel a little constrained by the fact that you always start at school or that you have to be home for dinner, but a couple of turns in, you realise that's kind of the point. You've only those handful of hours between to solve potentially interdimensional mysteries. The game feels like a perfectly filleted version of the role-playing game. Everything makes sense, there's little that can be rightly assumed with the theme, past a couple of complex hacking issues and statuses. The stunning part of Tales from the Loop, the board game, is the way that it deals with pacing. It is, in the most part, a kind of go here, do stuff kind of game, and these types of games are usually about pressure, whether that comes from the cooperative element, you don't want the game to be too slow and easy when the players aren't able to create friction between them, or the sense of narrative needs to charge forward at all times. Here, we don't have that. There's just something going on, and it's going to take a bit of digging around to work out what. Once you do, you'll be pleased you had to work to find out exactly what was going on in the first place. There's a genuine sense of mystery, even if mechanically driven. You might just be adding tokens to a card at the cost of the game's main currency, time, but you more feel like you're scratching the surface of an investigation only just begun before having to get the bus home for dinner. The only real niggle in the game is the core test system, taken nearly directly from the Year Zero system. Add to the dice pool system your ability plus items plus help, and with it, the chance of failure, but without the role-playing fun of failing forward. You just fail and take the consequences. It works most of the time, but there's something desperate in having to roll the right dice that doesn't line up with the otherwise moody and investigative feel of the game. The places it does work, like school events at the start of each weekday, and for hacking robots, is great. They have the required danger or feeling of obligation about them. But maybe I'm being too rough. After all, picking up the exhausted or upset status, locking a time cube, and in the case of upset, meaning you can't help others anymore, does seem like a reasonable kid's response to messing up in front of cool older kids. And really, that's where the game shines, in the writing. It's electrically charged and directly connected, via curly cable we assume, to 1980s youth experience, and the dual worlds of adults and kids, and all bound up not only with the weird stuff, but also with the kids' approach to the world. The items you find are junk, but weird and interesting junk that you'd probably treasure. The approach is one that respects these wild but constrained years. A stunning homage to that idea worthy of investigation by anyone, whether you're reliving it or not. Should you play it? We rated this a must-play. A total reset of the usual co-op rushabout logic, slowing to the pace of charming investigation, all linked with beautiful presentation and writing. And you should try this if you liked games like Legends of Andor, but you wish you could take more time checking out the scenery or getting distracted by something strange in the distance. Now, of course, this is published by Free League. It will take 90 to 180 minutes to play. It is for 1 to 5 players ages 14 and over, and you can pick up your own copy for around £72. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. We have plenty more where this came from, and be sure to check out a subscription to the magazine so you can be first to read these reviews. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.